Sam. It's great to meet you. She's the owner of The Unleashed Athlete. And you're bridging the gap between physical therapy and strength training. So to kick things off, give me a little bit more detail of how you're using physical therapy and strength training and bridging the gap, and dive a little bit deeper into like the meaning of that and how you implement that into your business.
Yeah, so the gap that I see in the industry is, I went through PT school and they don't really teach you a lot about actual movement patterns. And it's not to bash the PT programs out there because it is a 6-year program. It's a doctorate. Like there's a lot that goes into it. Like when we're in school, we have to take cardio, we have to take pulm, we have to take neuro. There's a lot of different avenues that you can take PT. There's also spinal cord injuries. There's pediatrics. So I understand why, like, we have to be general practitioners coming out of school so that we are able to take whatever avenue we want. However, the issue with that is when you want to get into sports orthopedics and working with athletes, or even just like higher level, like just like strength and conditioning in general, like just general orthopedics, I feel like there's not enough knowledge in the PT degree. You need to like outsource and find continuing education that's going to complement that. So like in PT school, we're not really taught the fundamentals of a squat, of a deadlift. That's the knowledge that I gained using my CSCS. So that's how I'm kind of combining the two, is with the very scientific knowledge that we get from PT school on the body as a whole. Like we learn very in depth the cardiovascular system, the pulmonary system, and that knowledge has served me to a very great degree. However, like I mentioned, if I want to work with athletes or even orthopedics, like if I have a CrossFitter come in to my clinic and she's having knee pain, ankle pain, but I don't know how to properly progress power lifts, that's an issue because I'm not going to actually be able to get her back to doing the things that she wants to do. I can get her back to her baseline, which is going to allow her to perform in everyday life. And that's also the insurance side of things, is once insurance sees, oh, you don't have pain, oh, you can walk, you can independently take care of yourself, you're good to go, you're discharged from PT, we're not going to pay for any more PT sessions. But now that client or patient has not gotten under a barbell and she has a powerlifting competition in 2 weeks. Like that's not okay, right? So that's where I got my CSCS and I continue to do continuing education. I'm also in a mentorship group called Active Life Professional. They're also really awesome group of people who are helping to bridge that gap. So I'm always outsourcing mentorship and trying to find new things that could allow me to learn to help bridge that gap. So my physical therapy degree gives me the knowledge on injuries, healing, the really detailed, intricate, sciencey stuff that like nobody really wants to know about. And then my CSCS allows me to bring in my exercise knowledge and combine the two so that I can work with higher level female athletes who aren't necessarily dealing with injuries per se, but really
Mhm.
just chronic and lingering pain. I do work with some clients who have, like, I have a client right now who has bilateral labral tears, and she was in PT, but she was like, the PTs aren't pushing me enough. Her pain point was, I need to get back to heavy lifting, and they're not pushing me hard enough to do so. And my thing is that your labrums are already torn. Like, we can't really do much more damage as long as we're training at that pain threshold of like a 4 out of 10 or less. We're not going to do any more damage. And I've gotten that knowledge through my strength and conditioning certification, through the active life professional mentorship that I'm in. So as a DPT, I feel like it's my responsibility to continue to outsource education that's going to allow me to serve the population that I want to serve. That's not to say that a DPT can't go to an orthopedic clinic and continue treating and do a really great job. They absolutely can, but they might be limited on who they can help without that additional knowledge of how do we actually perform a squat and a deadlift under load as well. So that's how I'm trying to bridge the two and feel like I'm doing a pretty good job with it with my clients. I'm always looking for feedback from them as well. Like I mentioned them, this is trial and error. Pain is a tricky thing. So using a lot of trial and error and being okay with failure too has really allowed me to bridge that gap.
I like that. I think that's a super cool, just like kind of a two in one, I would say, because it's usually like one or the other. Like you have your coaches and then you're going to a physical therapist or whatever. Cause I'm a ex college athlete. So I'm very well aware and used to like going to the physical therapist if I was injured. And, they're there's a lot of like if it's a two in one, sort of like you, I feel like it just makes it that much easier, and you understanding that is awesome. So with that being said, what's your ideal client? What's your typical client sort of look like? Like who's coming to you? Who are you working with? And who do you see like having the best results with? I know you're talking about you're working with a lot of high athlete women, but what does that ideal client look like to you?
Yeah, so I work with mainly former female athletes turned CrossFitters, runners, or just former female athletes who still want to live an active life. They want to be able to hike long distances, snowboard, ski, kayak, like do all of the outdoorsy things, even if they're not former athletes, just really women who want to continue to live this active life, want to live a pain-free life. Some even just have performance goals and they just want
Hmm.
to hike for longer. They want to run a half marathon. So I'm really working with people who have performance goals long term. I don't really work so much with the physique anymore. However, I do still have women who come to me who want to build muscle and lose fat. And the way that I coach is I coach habits and routines and lifestyle changes that allow for fat loss and muscle building to naturally occur while we focus on more performance aspect of things. So my company's really built around mindset and performance, and then the physique just kind of follows. So I tend to attract a lot of former female athletes who do have more of those performance goals, who either feel held back by mobility limitations, chronic pain, or just simply are a former athlete transitioning and don't really understand how to transition out of sport to lifestyle and training in the gym. Because think about it, like if you're a college athlete, you're training like 5, 6 days a week. And then you go from that to a 9 to 5 desk job. That's a hard transition.
Yeah.
And learning how to continue to train and keep your activity levels up. Because you always hear a lot of people say, oh, well, after sport, I developed chronic pain, I gained weight, because your lifestyle drastically changes. And there's really not a lot of people out there trying to bridge that gap and help athletes move from this, you know, at practice all the time to seated 9 to 5 desk job. And that's also where people end up developing pain or mobility limitations because drastically different lifestyles happen like that.
Yeah, they're
And
probably
there are
still eating the
just,
same things, like eating
yeah,
the same things. And like, when you're burning 4,000, 5,000 calories a day at practice. So yeah, I totally
yeah.
see that.
Yeah, you eat all the carbs when you're an athlete, and then you're no longer an athlete and you're still eating all the carbs, and you're like,
Yeah.
wait, what's happening? It's
Yeah,
like your activity
exactly.
levels drastically changed, honey.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's cool. And so where are you finding your clients? Like where have you built your customer base? Like has it come from word of mouth? Like has it come from social media? I know you have your social media presence. Like where are you finding your clients?
Yeah, mostly through Instagram. Um, that's where I generate most of my leads. That's where I'm on most of the time. I dabble in Facebook a little bit, but it's funny having a six-figure online company. I am not tech savvy and I don't like technology. The two don't go together, but we're doing it anyways. So I really like stick to Instagram. I've tried to get into YouTube, but it's getting there. We're focused on what's working right now, and then we're gonna build YouTube later. But also word of mouth and referrals. I do get a lot of that. So a lot of my clients are friends. They're like, "Oh, you should join this program," and then we get them in. So really, Instagram and referrals have been working really well for me.
That's cool. Awesome. And I went through all your stuff and I saw you have a lot of like really cool like you provide a lot of value through your content and I went into your link tree and everything. I saw you have a lot of free resources. So how does it look like with your free resources and all the value that you're giving? Like how does that help your business, you feel like?
Yeah. So my goal is, with working with former female athletes, a lot of them are straight out of college or in grad school, still in college. So I want to make sure that these people can still get the support that they need if financially they just can't do coaching right now. So that's why I've created a ton of free resources that I think can at least kickstart somebody's journey. By no means do I think they're comprehensive. At the end of the day, a coach is going to be that comprehensive piece that's really going to make a big difference. But if I can give them something that allows them to at least get started or learn something new, that's what I want to do. So I do find that I also forgot to mention I do email marketing. So I have emails going out a couple times a week. And when clients or prospective clients opt into any free resources, then they will get triggered an email sequence where I'm providing them more value, and also like showcasing some of my client transformation so they can see like what this actually looks like in action. And that kind of also prompts them to take action and apply for coaching. And there's usually a call for action at the end there. But even if that doesn't happen, if I can just at least provide value to them and give them like a framework to work off of, that's good enough for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, because that's literally what when we're working with our clients and our customers, like having that back end, like having your social media presence and everything that you put out attracting and giving as much value as possible is going to help you in the back end, especially when you have your email automations all set up, you have your newsletter, you have everything there. Then it's just so much you're building that rapport with your customer or uh, prospective clients. Then it just makes it that much easier to whenever you're hopping on a sales call or something, they're just they're already warm and they have all the value and you have that respect from them that makes it just so much easier. And then they're actually going to be listening and learning whenever you're actually having them as a client. So I really like that. I really noticed that, and I really like the free resources. Sort of touching on the next thing. Uh, what does your offerings look like? Is it just high ticket coaching you're having right now? Do you sell programs? Like, what are you offering to your clients right now?
Yeah, so I am still building this out. There will be courses coming in the next couple of months. I'm currently building them out, so I'm hoping for like a June rollout. And those courses will be evergreened. So I'll run it
Mhm.
live and I'll have people pay to come to the live. And then I will also have a resale price for it. I am doing a master class very soon. I think that's going to be April, the week of April 9th. I believe I'm going to run that. And that'll also be something that will be for purchase on my website. But as far as like working with me goes, I really only have the one-on-one coaching. Group coaching is something that I've thought about, but I just don't think it's going to allow me to really provide the individualized care that my population really needs.
Mhm.
So I really only offer one-on-one coaching when it comes to working with me. Clients have options of what like 9 to 12 month contracts, weekly versus bi-weekly check-ins. Usually I always recommend weekly to start and then I can wean them into bi-weekly. Usually it just depends on cost for people. But yeah, one-on-one's really the high ticket, and then I will have seminars and courses coming out soon because I have had a very high demand for that recently. So I'm excited to continue to educate that way.
That's awesome. No, I like the low ticket strategy. So, like you said, if they're college athletes or someone that wants to get in but can't afford that high ticket coaching, it gives them sort of that taste, like a little appetizer of, what it is that you do. And then eventually, after 6 months, a year, once they, earn enough money or get out of college or find a job, then they can take that next step. So that's really good with
Yeah.
nurturing your customers. Where are you building out your programs and everything right now in your courses? Like what
Right now,
platform?
I'm just writing my ideas down in Google Docs. It's very new that I just started. The masterclass is pretty much built and ready to go. That is going to be on, I just need to transfer everything over to probably Kajabi. I am exploring a couple different platforms. If you have suggestions, let me know. Um, but yeah, I am going to be putting the coursework on either Kajabi. I'm trying to get into a CRM. I'm not sure which one I want to use. There's GHL, there's a
Yep.
couple others that I was looking into.
Yeah, I
So
say
I put the
go high
course.
level. Go high level
Yeah.
100% because then for go high level, I don't know what you use for your emails and all that stuff. You're able to do like all your email automations. You're able
Yeah.
to manage all your leads for high ticket coaching for what
Yeah.
like all the automations and all the features for go high level work really well. And I know most of our clients that we work with are on Go High
Yeah,
Level. And
I
then
know
I'd
most people
say,
use Go High Level.
yeah, I'd say probably use Go High Level. That's something before you launch your low ticket
Mhm.
courses. You probably want to launch that just because it's just like able to track your data and everything will make it a lot easier. And then I'd recommend, yeah, Kajabi for your courses. I know Train Heroic has good features too. You could even use like A/B test kind of both, like see which ones you like more. But I think Kajabi has a lot more features and you're able to like track a lot more data with Kajabi and it's a lot more user friendly. But I know we work with some clients that use Train Heroic as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. So moving on to the next thing, like what's your goals for growth this year? I know you said uh you've been moving back and you just moved back from New York and you're trying to buy a house and you're trying to do all this awesome stuff. Like it seems like you have
Yeah.
that growth mindset. So
Oh,
you're trying to save up money to buy a house and go crazy with this awesome. But with your business, like what's your goals for growth this year? Because I like where your mind's at and you have I can tell that put a lot of effort into your product, which is super cool. You have, all these you got your degree, you got all these awesome things, and it seems like your clients are doing really well. But what's your pretty much your main goals for growth by the end of the year?
yeah. So right now, I actually just did a bunch of interviews yesterday for an assistant coach position. So right
Let's
now, my
go.
roster's actually capped. Yeah, I don't have capacity to take on any more clients myself.
It's a
If I
good
want to
problem to
continue to
have.
provide the quality, yeah, if I want to continue to provide the quality of care that I'm currently giving, which I really don't want to sacrifice,
Yeah.
um, I can't take on any more clients myself. So I did start a wait list and I have a couple people on that wait list. And I'm just doing interviews to try to find the best assistant coach. While I do feel like I am kind of in a push to get an assistant coach soon because I have people waiting, I also don't want to rush the process and want to make sure that
Mhm.
I hire the best person for the position. So currently at the forefront is hiring an assistant coach and getting that master class out there. My hope is that the master class generates some leads for the assistant coach to also have. So that's how I am scaling right now. And then obviously I have some revenue goals, which I am on track to actually surpass, which is awesome. But really like that's it. I did this year I really just wanted to grow a team and I did want to get some coursework out there. So my goals for this year, I'm gonna have two seminars. I'm having one in April and then I'll probably have one in like Q4. And then also I'm gonna do an 8-week mini mind come June. So just some more educational stuff out there, hire an assistant coach, start to really build a team. Maybe by the end of the year I'll need a second assistant coach, who knows? But the goal is really just to keep growing. I think I would love to keep my team small. I think two assistant coaches is the max that I would do because I feel like any more than that, I might start to lose touch with the clientele themselves. And
Mhm.
I really don't want to do that. I want to be able to say I have a relationship with everyone who comes into Unleashed Athletics. So that's really my goal is just to be able to continue to engage with all of my clients. So, if I have more than two assistant coaches, I feel like that's a lot of clients to keep track of. So
That's awesome. No, I seriously think like where you're at right now, I've talked to so many people that are sort of in that same position as you in the same boat of like sort of capped out, which I think would be great for you right now is just sort of taking that time to build out your low ticket offering, like you're saying, these master class things that you're doing, like being able to like sort of relax in that time and build those out because once you're at scale and once you maybe hire that other coach, it may just be like crazy and you're not going to be able to like focus that time that you have right now into those things. And some of the clients that we work with like absolutely crush those like PDF style programs and those
yeah,
courses and those masterminds to where then on the back, if you have a great low ticket offer, then it just helps your assistant coaches because then you're just having the most qualified people for them to coach and you're not having the headache of having maybe lesser high ticket clients that are sort of a pain and then you have to hop in and
yeah.
take out all the fires going. So I think that's awesome being in that position right now and it's really cool learning how you're sort of mixing that physical therapy and strength training because I think that's super unique and just putting that into the market with some sort of low ticket offer courses and stuff, especially with the awesome freebies you have right now. Like, feel like you already have most of it done. So I think that that'll be super cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing, really what you do there. For everyone else watching this right now too, like what's some advice if it's someone that wants to get into online coaching? Like what would you tell them? Like what's the best way to get started in online coaching and sort of getting to where you're at right now because you're in a, great position to be able to scale.
Yeah, I've gotten this question a lot this week actually, and I really wish that I had like better advice. Um, but to be honest, my journey has been long. I mean, this was not an overnight success. I've been doing this for COVID hit and I lost all three of the jobs that I had at the time, and I was in grad school and I needed to pay for grad school. So I had to figure out how to make money. So I decided to spend money and get my CSCS during COVID. So I studied during COVID. I got licensed January of 2021 while I was still in DPT school. And then I started training people May of 2021. I started in person, just working at a box gym, and I hated it. And I was like, this is really just not it. So I was like, okay, how do I do what I love while like loving it?
Mhm.
Because I just wasn't loving it in the box gym. You have certain numbers you have to hit. It's really all about the numbers. It's not really about the clients. You have a limited time, and it just wasn't my scene. And I'm like, how can I actually make the impact that I want to make? So it was COVID, and I was like, let me go online. Let's see what's in the online space. So I started just taking a couple of friends and training them for free online, just to see how I could do it. You don't have to train people for free to start, but definitely you have to charge not a lot. I started for free and then it was $50 a month. And, now I've worked up to a very much higher ticket offer, but that was also before I had my DPT. I was still in school. I was a new trainer. So I honestly like was charging my worth. I wasn't worth a lot at the time. I was still
Mhm.
learning. And then I just started to learn systems. I started to like find stuff online. I was Googling, found a business mentor pretty early on, hired him in October of 22, I think. And we started working together and he taught me how to really like structure my business. And then I found another mentor who now so the first mentor was Zach Colburn, PTBI. He's awesome. And then now I work with Kendall Strample inside of WWBA. She's also freaking awesome. And she has really helped me do the like scalability factors. So outside of just how do I structure it, like Zach helped me build the business and now Kendall is helping me kind of scale the business. And there are many business mentors out there. I would definitely like do your research, see who jives with you, but I definitely just wouldn't recommend like going it alone.
Mhm.
Especially like when you in PT school with your CSCS, they don't teach you about business. They don't teach you how to run your own company. Like that's something that you need to outsource, you
Yeah.
know. Like I mentioned before, in PT school, I didn't learn the orthopedic strength training things that I needed to. So I outsourced that knowledge. So don't be afraid to spend the money on it either because the ROI is crazy. Like you're gonna make your money back. Um, so those are the things that helped me. Like I really found communities of people who were doing the things that I wanted to do and just continuing to have like I don't think I'll ever not have a mentor, no matter if it's business, if it's professional. It's just really important for me to have those mentors. Once that I don't go crazy and feel super alone because you feel really alone in this entrepreneurial journey. Um, so that's my biggest piece of advice and just patience with it. Like I said,
Mhm.
I started this in I started my business in the beginning of 2022. So it's been 2 years now. It takes time, it takes time to build things up and it didn't, like I said, it didn't happen overnight. So you gotta have patience and find mentors when you can.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you. I know everyone listening to this right now or watching this are, taking a lot of knowledge out of this. So I appreciate you guys watching. And Sam, it was really nice to meet you. And it was awesome. Like, it was a great podcast. So I'm excited to sort of see where you take this and excited to see you, build out your low ticket offer now. Like, if you have any questions for me or anything you need from me, always feel free to reach out. But it was great having you on here.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. You have a great one, Sam.
You too.
Thank you so much. Bye.